So it's time for my January wrap-ups, and I'm just going to jump right into it because I really don't want to make this video too long. So one of the first books I read for the month of January was Attachments, and it was as amazing as many people told me it was. I could have sworn I read this book before, but I guess I didn't because it didn't sound familiar. But basically, it tells a story of two female co-workers, Beth and Jennifer, who are writing emails to each other throughout the day while they're at work, which they're not supposed to do. And there's this guy whose job it is to check out videos, to check out emails that have been flagged. So he ends up reading all of their emails because he just can't help it. He lives a very boring and kind of lonely life, and he finds himself very drawn to Beth, but he has no way of telling her, hey, I really like you because I've been getting to know you through reading your emails. It's a really funny story. I absolutely loved it. I thought it was super witty. I thought the dialogue was hilarious, and best of all, I felt like the characters, at least Beth and Jennifer, felt extremely real to me, and they feel like people you probably know, or you might find yourself drawn to the characters because they remind you of yourself. So absolutely love this book. I'd give it 4 stars and a half. The next book I finished was This Song Will Save Your Life by Leila Sales. I met her. She was sitting next to me during the book signing of Crest, sitting next to me before the actual event. She had this beautiful sundress and she was talking to one of the other authors, I think, and I didn't know that was who she was. But anyway, I read this book. I thought it was awesome. Basically, is this girl named Elise. She's 16 years old. She's going through some bullying and some self-harm. So just warning you there. As someone who has dealt with self-harm in the past, it was done, I think, very tastefully. I think even the bullying, you can see the toll it takes on her after a long period of time. It's not like an over-dramatic type of thing. It's very subtle, but also very impacting on her life. Anyway, this story basically is about the power of music and how it really helps transform her life. She stumbles across this nightclub late at night, and she ends up kind of getting caught into this world of DJing, and it's really interesting. If you love music, I highly recommend reading this book. It's kind of a dark comedy though, but it ends in a very optimistic note. So I would give that probably 4 stars. Next book is Meant to Be, and this is just a fluffy contemporary that takes place in London. Basically, the protagonist, Julia, she is in London on a study abroad program in high school, and she's partnered up with the one guy she cannot stand. His name is Jason, and he is super duper obnoxious. He's like the class clown in the worst kind of way, at least for me. I am not really a fan of guys like that, so it's very subjective. If you like those kinds of guys, then you'll enjoy the book. I found him really annoying. He had his moments, obviously. He's a 3-dimensional character, so he's not always goofy and weird and stupid and saying silly like sex jokes and like being pervy and weird. He does have his redeeming moments of being serious and really caring about Julia, but whatever. Either way, they go on an adventure to help Julia find this guy that she met at a party, but she didn't get his name, and all she has is his text messages that he's sending her. So interesting book, 3 stars. I thought it was cute, fluffy, sweet, but nothing out of this world amazing. Next up, we have The Raft. I did a full review on it. It's under 2 minutes. I'll link it here. It was great. It was a survival novel. Basically, she goes on a, I don't even remember her name, Robbie. Basically, Robbie goes on a plane. It crashes. She's stuck in the middle of nowhere in Hawaii in a raft surrounded by water with the only other survivor, whose name is Max. He is 25 years old, and it's a weird character. You kind of go along for the ride not really knowing what's going on, and then there's a twist, and then everything makes sense, and it's that kind of thing. But I feel like the twist was kind of obvious, but that book was 3 stars as well. Next book is What I Thought Was True. I have to look that up because I read it so early in January that I completely forgot about it, even though it's awesome. I wanted to read it after reading My Life Next Door. I wanted to see if I was going to like it, and I did really enjoy it. I give it 4 stars. I thought it was great. I don't know if I love it just as much as My Life Next Door, but it was awesome. Basically, this girl, I don't remember her name, she gets a summer job, and it ends up being next to the one guy she's been trying to avoid because she has some history with him. I really liked it. I thought it was cute. I thought some of the embarrassing instances that happen like while she's there working trying to avoid him are really funny. But I thought some of the little lobster parts, like she didn't want to kill a lobster or like boil him, and the guy helps her. I don't know, that sounds really stupid out of context, but it was a really cute scene and I really enjoyed it. And I give the book 4 stars. Did I say that? So the next book I finished is a super popular one. I cannot tell you how many times someone has recommended that I read Shatter Me, or I've seen it in a booktube video. I finally read it, and I do enjoy it. I give it 4 stars and a half, so I love it. but I did get spoiled 100 pages into this book on the third one and who she ends up with and kind of what happens. I don't know exactly what happened story based wise. So I was very upset about getting spoiled. I felt like I was a balloon of happiness reading this because I was getting really into it, and then getting spoiled was kind of like the needle poking, kind of like a needle bursting that bubble. It wasn't necessarily because I was unhappy of who she ended up with. I just didn't want to be spoiled that early, you know, because there's like 2 other books. I'm not even done with the first one. I already got spoiled. So that kind of deflated me a little bit, and it kind of put me into a book slump, which is why I stopped reading this and I stopped reading everything for a while, because I don't like getting spoiled with books. I feel like it's different to get spoiled with a movie, but with a book it's just like But anyway, I enjoyed it. I love the writing style. I thought it was unique. The story, like certain elements of the story remind me a lot of other dystopian novels, which was why I waited so long to read this book, because I was just reminded of so many others, which I guess isn't its fault. That's just, I read too many dystopian novels. But either way, I really enjoyed it. I think it's the writing that sets it apart from a lot of other novels. And I will be reading the second one. I'm just going to give myself a little break from that to see if maybe I can forget some of the things I learned about the books that are coming up. So anyway, that was my reading month. I also reread the Lunar Chronicles in anticipation and preparation for Fairest, which I haven't picked up yet. I was about to buy it. I was this close to buying it, but it's so small, so short in comparison to the other books, and I was like, I don't want to spend $20 on that. I mean, it's cheaper if you order it online, yes, but either way. So I requested at the library and it's on its way. If you have read it already, or if you're still reading it, let me know what you think down below, because I'd love to hear whether it's good, whether it meets the expectation, whether it's as good as the others. I don't really know, but let me know, because it looks beautiful on the inside. So that's it for my book. So that's it for my wrap up. I hope you guys enjoy. I'll see you guys very soon, I promise. Bye guys.